Welcome to your Daily Spark, where I give you a prompt to practice a strategy or a skill that will make you irreplaceable in a world with AI in just 5 minutes. Now, today we are going to be continuing our theme, and today's tool that we're looking at is Perplexity, a generative AI tool that's known for taking on Google with search and information discovery. Now, when it comes to teamwork and project management, having access to the right information at the right time is invaluable. And when using generative AI tools, being able to fact check is essential. And as you'll see, unlike ChatGPT and Pi, Perplexity really likes to cite itself. So for a bit of fun, let's pretend Perplexity is a part of our team, here to share how its capabilities and search and information processing can elevate our collaborative efforts as we look to merging our strengths. So please join me in welcoming Perplexity onto today's show so that we can find out what its strengths are. Hi, Perplexity. Today I am recording a podcast episode on Clifton Strengths, and I'm curious, what do you think your Clifton Strengths might be? So Perplexity doesn't speak, and so I'm going to go ahead and show you this here, but you can see over here, it's telling me what Clifton Strengths is. And if I click here, I can actually see the citation and go here. So I know, okay, the information is valid, but it hasn't actually told me it's Clifton Strengths. What would yours be? Okay, so it says it doesn't have any Okay, so it says it's an AI assistant. I don't have any. However, if I was to imagine some, strategic learner. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this. If I was planning an AI for educators workshop, what icebreaker would you recommend? Now, one really important thing here is to note what happens when we can't speak to our AI. You can see here, my prompt is way more basic than the one that I shared with ChatGPT and Perplexity. My style, my tone, everything about me is completely different when I'm only limited to text and I don't have the ability to speak directly into the software with it. So let's go ahead and say what icebreaker it would recommend. Okay, it kind of did the same thing as like ChatGPT with like the futuristic headlines. So I think we really actually can just in this like 3 sort of experiments we did, ChatGPT, Pi, and Perplexity, see that Pi definitely did bring it with the emotional intelligence and really coming forward with like, because that's one of the things that I didn't like about the ChatGPT one, that if you haven't listened to that episode, go back and listen to that episode. But that whole idea, like even though, you know, what this one is sharing here with the futuristic headlines, so often I find that if people are already fearful about a technology or they're already not super into it, starting with the technology is just the ultimate way to shut them down. Whereas like Pi suggested, starting with like, hey, what are some things you want to try? What are some things you've heard? What are some things that make you nervous or fearful? People tend to let their guard down a little bit more because we're not talking about technology, we're talking about them. So as always, you're kind of going to do really the same thing that you did in yesterday's episode, which is take that exact same scenario you were working in and go and try the same thing in Perplexity. Okay, so now with Perplexity here, which I'm going to bring up, we know that, well, at least in my free version here, I cannot talk to Perplexity, but we also know that one of Perplexity's biggest strengths is in information gathering, given what I just shared with you earlier, right? And kind of what we just saw with it sharing its Clifton Strengths. So I might come over here and ask it instead, can you share 3 research studies on AI in education from the past year? And let's go ahead here and see what it says. And it's come over here and it's given me a few, I can't really say I'm super big on these. I actually know a lot of studies off the top of my head that I would use because I use them all the time. I can't say these are any of the ones that I would like. And so again, it just really goes to show you like never take your AI tools at face value. Always, you know, it's so interesting because, you know, during the whole Google era, we talked so much about how, oh, you can just Google anything, so you don't need that knowledge. But as you can see, like I'm an avid reader. I love reports. I love data. I love research because I think it really helps ground us in the right conversation to have. And I love working from data, not assumptions. But because I do have that familiarity with all the different research that's out there, because I'm reading on a regular basis, I have a network of people where I'm learning from. When I see something that doesn't quite sit well with me and I'm just like, oh, okay, I wonder if this, I have a lens to be able to critique my AI tool. And so I think so often I would just share here that we think of so many things in a binary format, this or this. And it's really about having a little bit of everything and knowing where you need to get those pieces from so that you have the right components, the right people, the right resources to be able to make informed decisions moving forward. So now it's going to be your turn. Again, like in these episodes, I'm not going to do like a full prompt with you the way I normally would. What I'm going to recommend instead is that you take that same scenario that you've been working on and now you go to Perplexity and ask it for like 3 different research studies or some kind of data that's going to support whatever it is that you are working on. As always, please share your stories with me. I hope you've enjoyed this little twist on the Daily Spark. If you like it and you want more like this, let me know and I'm happy to do it. But let me know what your spark stories are. And until next time, everyone, keep sparking your human advantage.